Hello everyone. From this video lecture, we are going to discuss about some remaining topic related to the excretion, which are artificial kidney, and then small amount of the topic that is uh, excretion in plant, along with the organ donation. These are the remaining topic related to this chapter. Then we will also discuss some important question given in our chapter as exercises and some question related to the particular topics. So let us start with the artificial kidney or hemodialysis. So here artificial kidney is the kidney or a system which is responsible for or which is related to the excretory organ. So what is artificial kidney and why it is required, we will discuss from the given data in our syllabus or in our book. So here it is given, kidneys are vital organ for survival. So यहाँ पे ये statement ध्यान देने की बात है कि why it is called vital organ. So it is called vital organ because the disposal of nitrogenous waste material, it is very necessary, because the accumulation of the nitrogenous waste which are poisonous in our body cause a number of problem and even leads to death. It is given here several factors like infection, injury or restricted blood flow to the kidney reduce the activity of kidney. This is the reason why the kidney becomes fail to perform its function. This leads to accumulation of poisonous waste in our body. So the what are the poisonous wastes? So the poisonous wastes are the nitrogenous waste, and these nitrogenous wastes are found in the form of urea, ammonia, and the uric acid. So these are the nitrogenous waste which are useless as well as harmful for our body. So accumulation of these poisonous wastes leads to death. So in the case of kidney failure, an artificial kidney can be used, which are the advanced or modern technology to deal with this problem. An artificial kidney is a device to remove nitrogenous waste product from the blood through dialysis. Means the process is known as dialysis, through which the blood filter outside the body. So what are the things or setup found in the artificial kidney? Let us know about this system. The artificial kidney contain a number of tubes with semi-permeable lining, which are known as the cellophane tube, suspended in a tank filled with dialysing fluid or dialysing solution. It is that dialysing fluid is also known as dialysing solution, which is given here. This fluid has the same osmotic pressure as blood, except that it is devoid of nitrogenous waste. Means in the dialysing solution there is no nitrogenous waste except nitrogenous waste. All the components are similar to the blood plasma. The patient blood is passed through these tubes. During this passage, the waste product from the blood pass into dialysing fluid by diffusion. So diffusion is the process through which nitrogenous waste can move from blood to the dialysing solution. Then the purified blood is pumped back into the patient. This is similar to the function of the kidney, but it is different since there is no reabsorption involved. So here this point is need to be noted, which may be the difference between artificial kidney as well as natural kidney. सो नेचुरल किडनी और आर्टिफिशियल किडनी में ये सिंगल डिफरेंस होता है कि रीएब्जॉर्प्शन प्रोसेस आर्टिफिशियल किडनी में एब्सेंट होता है. सो नॉर्मली इन अ हेल्दी एडल्ट द इनिशियल filtrate in the kidney is about 180 liter daily. However, the volume of actually excreted is only a liter or 2 a day. Excreted a liter or 2 a day, because the remaining filtrate is reabsorbed in the kidney tubules. So, during the natural filtration of blood or urine formation, 180 liter per day filtrate is formed, but out of this, most of the part get reabsorbed. About 100th or 99% part becomes reabsorbed. Only 1% part get uh, participate in the formation of urine. So this is all about the artificial kidney or hemodialysis, which is also can be explained through this given diagram. We can observe here one pipe. There are two pipes injected in the hand of the patient, and one pipe bring blood into the this chamber, and one other tube bring back into the hand of the human or patient from this chamber. And inside the chamber, the dialyzing solution get supplied. Fresh dialyzing solution get supplied regularly, while the used dialyzing solution get collected into another vessel with urea and excess salt. So in this way, the blood becomes free from nitrogenous waste, and that blood get back into the body of patient. And this is the process of hemodialysis or simply dialysis. Then related to the this topic, there is another topic which is given in our syllabus, think it over. This is as think it over in the form of organ donation. So organ donation is a generous act of donating an organ of a person who suffer from non-function of organ. Means any person who have non-functional organ, they require or they need a donation of organ from a healthy person or a person whose brain becomes brain said to be dead by the doctor, or the person becomes dead. That person may be the donor by their consent. So here it is given, donation of an organ may be done by the consent of a donor and his or her family. Means the consent should be required either by the donor or his family. Anyone, regardless of age or gender, can become an organ donor, organ and tissue donor. Organ transplant can save or transform the life of a person. Transplantation is required because recipient organ has been damaged or has failed by disease or injury. Means there are two regions through which the organ becomes damaged. In organ transplantation, the organ is surgically removed from one person, which is known as organ donor, and transplanted to another person, which is known as a recipient. And the common transplantation include cornea, kidney, heart, liver, pancreas, lungs, intestine, and bone marrow. These are the organs which need to or which is needed by a person who have non-functional organ, or these organs becomes non-functional. Most organ and tissue donation occur just after the donor has died or when the doctor declares a person brain dead. But some organs such as kidney, part of liver, lungs and tissue can be donated while the donor is alive. So in living condition, kidney, part of liver and lungs can be donated along with some tissue because a pair of kidney present in human body. So in the absence of one kidney, the person can survive, or a part of liver can be given to a patient of liver because liver has ability to regenerate. So a small piece of liver can regenerate to form a complete structure. Same in the case of lungs. So this is all about the organ donation. Now about the excretion in plants. The next topic is excretion in plant. So excretion in plant are completely different strategy. Sorry, plants use completely different strategy for excretion than those of animal. So the reason behind this, because there is very slow metabolic activity in the case of plant body, and because our plants can not move from one place to another place, they remain stand at a single place. Oxygen itself can be thought of as a waste product generated during the photosynthesis because there is a very less amount of oxygen required during the respiration. Rest of the oxygen is useless, so it required to given out from the body. We have discussed earlier how plant deal with oxygen as well as carbon dioxide. So in previous topic we have already discussed about the this problem. They can get rid excess water by transpiration. For other wastage, plant use the fact that many of their tissues consist of dead cell, and they can even lose some parts such as leaves. So by losing the parts, plants can do the process of excretion. Many plants waste products such as are stored in cellular vacuole. Waste product may be stored in leaves that fall off. Other waste products are stored as resin, gums, especially in old xylem. Xylem is the place where resin and gums are formed or stored as a waste product. Plant also excrete some waste substances into the soil around them. So these are the strategy for excretion of substances or waste material by the plants. Now some questions are given here. Let us describe or discuss about this question. The first question it is, describe the structure and function of nephron. So structure is given in the book, and we have already discussed about the structure along with the physiology of urine formation, which is the function of nephron, in previous video lecture. The second question, what are the methods used by the plants to get rid excretory product? And about this we have already discussed before this question. Now the third question, how is the amount of urine produced regulated? So the amount of urine produced, it is regulated, it is by the process of reabsorption. Reabsorption is the process to regulate the amount of urine produced. Then the next exercises is given here as a multiple choice question. The kidney in human being, a part of the system for, so here there are four systems given: A, nutrition; B, respiration; C, excretion; D, transportation. So our correct answer will be the excretion. Now the xylem in plants are responsible for, so there are four options: transport of water, transport of food, transport of amino acid, transport of oxygen. So our correct answer is transport of water. The next is the autotrophic mode of nutrition require. So there are four options: carbon dioxide and water, this is required, chlorophyll is also required, sunlight is also required. So the correct option is all of above, because all the options are correct. The next question, the breakdown of fire weight to give carbon dioxide, water and energy take place in, means we have to find out the place of conversion of pyruvate into carbon dioxide and water energy. So the option given are cytoplasm, mitochondria, chloroplast, nucleus. So our correct answer will be the mitochondria. The next question, written question, these are how are fat digested in our body? Fat digestion take place in body. How? Where does this process take place? So how and where the fat digestion take place in our body? So the place where fat digestion take place, it is the small intestine, because uh, fat digestion begins after the mixing of bile juice, and bile juice mix in the initial part of small intestine, and the digestion of fat take place with the help of lipase enzyme, which is secreted from the pancreas. Lipase enzyme. The next question, what is the role of saliva in digestion of food? So the saliva contain mucus which mix the food along with the salivary amylase or ptyalin, which digest starch into maltose. So digestion of starch, especially the carbohydrate, take place by the help of saliva in mouth. Next, what are the necessary conditions for autotrophic nutrition and what are its byproducts? So the condition we have observed as the light, sunlight and chlorophyll. These are the essential condition or necessary condition for autotrophic nutrition, while the byproduct is in the form of oxygen during the autotrophic nutrition, especially during the photosynthesis. Next question, it is the what are differences between aerobic and anaerobic respiration? So we have to make the difference in tabular form. The other question, name some organism that use the anaerobic mode of respiration. So we can give the example of yeast. Yeast use anaerobic respiration, bacteria along with number of parasite, especially the endoparasite, perform the anaerobic respiration, and difference you can make in tabular form from the topic we have discussed earlier. Next question is, how are the alveoli designed to maximize the exchange of gases? So alveoli is the balloon shaped structure with the unicellular surface or unicellular membrane surface, which facilitate the exchange of gases in more amount. The next question, what would be the consequences of deficiency of hemoglobin in our body? So hemoglobin is responsible for transport of oxygen, and that is why the deficiency of hemoglobin leads to deficiency of oxygen, and deficiency of oxygen leads to the weakness in our body, because oxygen is the substance which provide us energy or by the process of aerobic respiration. The next question is the describe double circulation of blood in human being, why it is necessary. So double circulation we have discussed from the flow chart as in the form of systemic circulation and the pulmonary circulation, which involve the blood passing through the heart twice during one cycle of circulation, and it is necessary to separate oxygenated and deoxygenated blood to ensure the maximum supply of oxygen for the cells of the body. The next question, what are the difference between the transport of material in xylem and phloem? So in xylem there is the transport of water and minerals take place, water and minerals, while by the phloem there is the transport of food take place. And the other difference we can give as the direction of transport in xylem, it is only in upward direction, while in phloem the transport take place in all direction. So these are the two main difference. Next question, compare the functioning of alveoli in lungs and nephron in kidney with the respect to their structure and function. So alveoli in our lungs is balloon shaped structure, while nephron in kidney is tube like structure. One difference, it is based on the structure, while on the basis of function we can differentiate as the exchange of substances take place in the form of gases at the place of alveoli, while in nephron the exchange of substances, or especially not the exchange of gases, it is especially the secretion from one part to another part, and in the form of liquid and solid substances. So these are the two difference based on structure as well as function. So these are important questions which are given in our exercise, and these are questions which are also important for our board examination, because in from NCERT most of the questions attempted in our examination. So this is the end of the chapter, and from next video lecture we will discuss about the new chapter, that is control and coordination.